Hi everyone, I'll try to zoom through my slides. Tough acts to follow. I'm not a designer by any means, so my slides, I realized this morning while watching everyone's that mine are ugly, but it's okay. Design is not my strong suit. So I'm Sandra Casey. I'm an MIT trained engineer with over 10 years experience in software engineering, data analysis, and recently AI automation, 2 years now. I am the founder of Ugabot, also the principal engineer, which is an AI automation startup. Today, I'll be talking about how to leverage AI for business growth and innovation, and in particular, the AI agents. We've heard a lot about chatbot, generative content, but beyond that, there is what they call the AI agents, and I hope to demystify all of that in this talk today. I'm just going to do one small public announcement. Let's hold off on the questions till the end. We have a dedicated Q&A question, and I want to make sure I go through the slides without losing my train of thought. So thank you, everyone. I'll start off by the agenda. We're going to cover artificial general intelligence versus narrow AI, demystify AI, benefits of AI for your business, operational inefficiencies, what they mean and how AI comes in, AI chatbots versus AI agents, navigating AI adoption, AI in action. We shall see some use cases for different industries. How to start your AI journey. We've seen some examples of that. Hopefully that will augment what we've already seen. And finally, the future of AI in business. So trends to watch out for. Okay. So to start off, what is artificial general intelligence? Today's capabilities versus tomorrow's potential. AI as we know it now is what we call narrow AI. It's systems designed for specific tasks, e.g. recommendation engines, chatbots, image recognition, etc. On the other hand, artificial general intelligence is hypothetical AI that has human-level intelligence, learns, reasons, solves problems in any domain. That is hypothetical. It's only in sci-fi movies. We are not there yet. That would be the scenario where someone trains an AI to be the best Go player in the world, and the next day it can also beat chess. No, it will only do what you train it to do. So why does this matter? It's actually a very important distinction to know, because a lot of people are worried that AI is going to take over their jobs or it will get a mind of its own. Right now, there is PhDs writing theses, theorizing if we shall ever get there. To summarize it in a table, with aspects such as scope, planning, adaptability, and current status, narrow AI will do single tasks or domains, what you tell it to do. Edge AI can do everything, can come, cook, clean, without you having to tell it, I need my office cleaned or something. In terms of learning, narrow AI requires human training. Like we've been talking a lot about prompt engineering. That's a big part of ChatGPT. Also, if you're using custom models, that's all you'll have to tell it what to do. You can't tell it, go be good at math, and suddenly it can be good at French. Adaptability, fixed purpose for narrow AI, edge AI, general purpose problem solving. Current status, narrow AI is already here. It's widely deployed in the 2020s. Edge AI, theoretical, hypothetical, only in movies. AI is not going to replace humans anytime soon. Now let's demystify some terminologies about AI. We've already had a few definitions. I just think of it as systems that mimic human intelligence to solve problems. Think of it like a supercharged assistant who never takes time off, no sick days, and only asks for like $50 a month instead of $5,000 a month. Key technologies, I'm not going to get too technical here, but these float around when you're having AI discussions. The main one is machine learning, learns from data and improves over time. We've heard a lot about machine learning models. We have natural language processing, which is a type of AI that can understand, interpret, and generate human language. We also have predictive analytics, which is a type of AI that is good at analyzing data beyond mean, median. If you wanted like a proper data analytics, what's going on, insights in my data, AI is great for that. Actually, if you go to the McKinsey website, I don't know if you guys know about McKinsey, at the root, it's a data science company. But even their website copy, they will tell you, AI is great at analyzing data, and they will charge thousands. They have teams of data scientists, and they're all using AI too. So predictive analytics is another good one. Computer vision, more advanced analyzing images and vision. Let's talk about a few myths and bust those myths. First, AI is too expensive. Absolutely not true. As you guys know, most of the tools are subscription-based. And they're designed for affordability. AI is too complex, not true. There's a lot of no-code AI tools. We've seen people talk about all the amazing things they've done with AI. You don't have to be a software engineer. AI will replace human jobs, no? Like we said, AGI, artificial general intelligence, is not yet here. We still need humans to guide the AI, train it, tell it what to do. So no, it's not gonna replace human jobs. As Amanda said, AI won't take your job, but people using your job will. That's true. Ethical AI slows innovation. Maybe you don't wanna worry about what's gonna happen. No, we should all be on board to embrace ethical AI practices, because in the long run, they build trust and will lead to long-term adoption. Now, hopefully all our myths about AI are bust. Why should you care? Well, why now? Why 2025? It's been around 2020. Why should you not wait any longer? Well, AI is no longer optional. It's a strategic imperative. I'm going to read off a few stats here that I collected and verified. From Accenture, we have AI adopters see 25% higher profitability. So we'll talk about ways, it's because you may be saying, okay, if I'm spending time on ChatGPT, how am I seeing productivity? But I'm going to cover AI agents, and you can see clearly how it can really cut down on your time. 70% of companies, according to McKinsey, will adopt AI by 2030 and follow the money. PwC says AI could add $15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030. We see 2030 a lot. That's in about the 5-year mark line. Microsoft, for instance, I feel like they're trying to replace all of us developers. They've given us Copilot, it's in the code. I can't remember the last time, I shouldn't say this, my boss may hear this, so it's everywhere. Just last month, Google announced that they are including their entire AI suite in the standard Google Workspace subscription. So what used to cost $32, I believe, now costs $14 per user per month. You go to take a Google Meet with the Google Workspace subscription, Gemini is there summarizing your call and everything. This is an example of AI access being democratized for the common business. Everyone can now have access to it. You don't have to worry, oh my God, I need to have my ChatGPT open to help me craft this email in Gmail. No, they already have the Gemini in there. So a lot of exciting things happening. In a nutshell, just think of it, AI is a lot more accessible now, more affordable, and a lot more powerful. As I have a note here about drivers, data explosion, a lot of data these days. The companies have been collecting data for decades now, so that data is sitting there. They can use AI to get all this insight out of it. Computational power has gone up. We keep hearing about the chips and quantum computing, and competitive pressure has gone down. Lots of people coming up. We recently heard about DeepSeek getting in fights with ChatGPT, and so everyone is, the competitive pressure is going down. So it's a great time, and I highly encourage anyone who is not yet jumped onto the bandwagon to do so now. Now I introduce something we haven't talked a lot about in this talk, operational inefficiencies, because it's going to come in hand in explaining AI agents and how they fit into everything. So first, operational inefficiencies, they're exactly what they sound like. Processes or systems in your business that are leaking resources quietly, draining time, money, energy. You barely notice them because they are in the daily chaos of running your business. It could be missing calls because you're so busy. One human can only do so much. It could be delays due to poor communication. It could be misallocation of resources, understaffing, and most businesses just think, order of the day, what can we do? Delays happen, but there is solutions. So let's look at some operational inefficiencies and how AI helps. The number one, most common one, manual and repetitive tasks. These are usually data entry, very error prone. You can automate all that out of the way with tools, no-code tools like Make.com, Zapier, you probably heard of those. So if you have some data entry that could have errors, I was speaking to someone in the biotech world, and he's a scientist, and was explaining in his day he would work with about 10 tools, and he would run the experiment here, get the results, put the data in for the next experiment, transform all the units, do it over again, and he's like, I'm a scientist. Like, I wish something could just translate this data for me, and I just go do what I need to do. So you can automate these repetitive, manual, error-prone processes. 2, poor communication. We're all human. You can enhance your communication with AI chatbots, especially at the workplace, virtual assistants, and natural language processing tools that interpret language to give you better insight in what the person is saying. I'm autistic myself, so I've found it very helpful to learn with ChatGPT, because the number of times I ask a question that I think is perfect, you can't mess up the answer, and someone answers something else, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So ChatGPT has been great for me for that. Ineffective resource allocation, maybe understaffing, overstaffing. Well, AI is great for that, because you can use predictive data analytics to look at past data and predict trends or demand fluctuation, and it can also help you to, let's say, let me explain better. Let's say a bakery is realizing, wow, last November on this week we made a lot of sales for our cookies. What happened? And it's like, oh, in November there is a school event that happens every other year, so they can plan for that. Or maybe that day there was a huge snowstorm, no one went out, and they can say, okay, what's the weather going to be next week? And learning from past trends and predicting with the future. Outdated technology, it's already happening. Nearly every tool that I've mentioned today has AI enhancing it. She was mentioning SEMrush. It's one of my favorite tools for SEO. It has AI everywhere. Trisha was talking about Google search. Actually, it's important to understand that the search engine is using AI because it changes the way SEO works altogether. It's no longer just stuffing keywords. It's the intent behind the keyword, because the search engine is also now smarter than just sniffing around for keyword. It has AI actually in the Google search engine. So you have to remember that when you're crafting your content for SEO. Lack of data-driven decision making. A lot of us make decisions based on impulse, but we have a lot of data, and you can use AI to analyze that data, give you hidden insights, because bakery example again, you may have your CPA telling you, okay, this month you did well, you sold this, but they cannot tell you why your everything bagel is selling the best on Mondays. They can just tell you it sold well, but they cannot give you the insight for the why. So that's why AI is good for that. Supply chain bottlenecks, again, predictive data analytics. You can do stuff like put sensors in your equipment and predict when equipment is going to fail before it happens, or when it will need service. You can predict demand fluctuations and optimize your inventory accordingly. You can use AI-powered route optimization if you're doing logistics and you have trucks and stuff like that. Finally, redundant processes. It's self-explanatory. Maybe you're doing something over and over and it's not efficient. You can just use AI to streamline all of that. Chatbots. Try to go through very quick. Chatbots, you've seen them, you've played with them. Just think of them like those phone receivers when you call your doctors and they're like pediatrician or mental health and they direct you. It's kind of the same thing except with a chatbot, because let me back off. A chatbot can only do what I tell it to do, just like that call receiver. My employer, for instance, has a chatbot where you only have a few questions, prompts that you can click on, and you can go based on what you clicked on. And if you really want to talk to someone, the only thing you can do is enter an email. You can't enter anything else but an email. So they're trying to be safe. It's an HR company. They don't want to be, funny business. But this is my watch business, and I wanted to have fun with it. I can have full control of the AI. So I built it to be a general purpose customer service chatbot. And in this case, you can ask it, who are you? I am an expert in fashion, specializing in watches and accessories. I work for Monab Watches and Accessories. That's my company. I could have said I'm an AI, but I figured people would figure that out. I can provide information on various watch brands, their histories, how to care for them, and offer styling advice. This is something I would usually have to write blog posts about all of these things for people to realize, oh, I can get this content here. But I didn't even have to write the blog post. What I did, I trained it on other popular blog posts. So if someone asks something that it can't get from the context of my website, it's going to search this blog post. How do I take care of my Omega watch? Okay, here is this link. You can take care of your watch. It can also make recommendations. So if you ask it something random, it will answer, but it's been trained to bring you back to watches. Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to sell you. So you ask COVID, it will tell you, oh, even in a pandemic, a stylish watch can be a symbol of time, hope and resilience. Speaking of time, have you seen the latest Seiko? I had a lot of fun playing around with it. And finally, if you want it to be more serious, it does all my marketing for me. It will have links. If you ask, I want to go to a wedding, I'm wearing a black suit, it will say, oh, we have a good Seiko here. Here's a link. It costs this much. So I had so much fun building this. There are a lot others that you can build. With mine, you can ask it anything, but it's smart. It will just, I told it, answer appropriately, avoid vulgar stuff. but bring them back to watches. So that's chatbots. I'll be talking about the distinction between chatbots and agents soon, but let's cover agents real quick. Before I get to that slide, I don't have to get to the previous slide. An AI agent is a step above a chatbot in my head, in that a chatbot, you're going to have to give it input, and then it gives a response, you interact with it. An AI agent is a bit more autonomous. So I'll go over this example real quick, but in this case, the client was doing lead generation with LinkedIn. And what they would do, they would get their list from LinkedIn, put it in Phantom Buster, get that list, find the domains, enrich the data, go visit website by website, manually looking through, does this meet my ideal client profile? And then if it does, find the email and then email them. So you can imagine if they're looking at 1,000 leads, and let's say it takes them a minute for each website to load. They're going to need at least a minute to look at it. Let's at least 2 minutes if we are being very efficient to look at every page. That's 1,000 times 2,000 minutes just skimming these pages to see if they're in your ideal client profile. To me, that sounded like a lot of time. So we created this system where it listens for a new Google Sheet over here. You've all used Google Sheets, Excel. So they still use their LinkedIn, but once they get a lead, it gets into the Google Sheet, and as soon as the system hears that we have a new lead, it checks, is there a website on this lead? Because we are going to need it for the next steps. Okay, they have a website, filters them out. Get it to data enrichment. From that data, you're now going to have employee numbers, better addresses, more enriched data about the company. Now check, are they really 250 employees, and are they indeed in Massachusetts? Still refining your ideal client profile. And if they do, pass them through the filter and pipe them into a ChatGPT prompt. Now you have their website, you have their website description from Apollo, you have the SEO description from Apollo, you have industry tags. I wish I had the prompt here, and I said, okay, I've given you this info. We are looking for managed service providers, MSPs, in Massachusetts with 250 employees. This is what an MSP means. Look for these keywords, even if they don't have all of them. So we did a whole well-crafted chatbot such that a human doesn't need to look at the website and figure this out. So I asked the human, what do you look for? I put that in ChatGPT, and now website comes, we check for the domain, we check the criteria, we check if it's an MSP in ChatGPT, then we find an email, verified lead. The whole process took me 6 hours, and I had never done this process before. From building it to scraping 2,500 leads to get them qualified ones, it took me 6 hours, working my full-time job. So this is the power of ChatGPT. I can imagine it would take him a week, just that manually checking a website. You know, just that step where ChatGPT has taken over. So that's an example of an AI agent. And when all was said and done, before his system with LinkedIn was only checking LinkedIn, he was getting 20% of his ICP. I Googled and found the info on the MSP info. There's about 200 MSPs in Boston between 50 and 250 employees. So if he's only getting 20%, he was only getting 40 of those leads from LinkedIn. And with this system, I got him 70 leads.
70?
Yeah, off of LinkedIn.
Does this work with Navigator, or is it different from Navigator?
No, I used other resources because he used LinkedIn Navigator and he wanted the other 80% that he thought was not on LinkedIn. So we looked at popular forums that these companies meet up, different directories. I sourced about 6 different directories besides LinkedIn to get that Google Sheets profile, and then just pressed a button and the rest did its thing. So there's going to be variability, I guess, in this case, with where the data is coming from in Google Sheets. It could be coming from LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It could be coming from Apollo itself, where you just skip that step. You know, wherever you're finding your leads, it's the same thing. Get them into a Google Sheet. Put your process in an AI agent. This is in make.com, no-code tool, drag and drop. You just add your APIs. So I have an Apollo account, I have a ChatGPT account, I have an email Finder account. So instead of me having to go in manually in all these accounts, now AI just logs in for me and does it. And you may be thinking, I don't work much with computers. What is AI going to do for me? Well, we worked with a landscaper who had one part-time employee, and sometimes he would have to step in, take the phone calls, book the appointments, follow up, and do the landscaping himself. He didn't like doing the administrative work. He just wanted to do the landscaping. And sometimes he would miss the calls, so we did a voice receiver for him. it sounded very human. We would take the calls, usually there were incoming calls to book, hey, come do my yard, take down the name, the time, book the appointment on his calendar. So he does not even know, but he just sees appointment on my calendar. The AI follows up with the client. He just shows up and does the landscaping. So the AI voice retriever is essentially his full-time assistant, $35 an hour, sorry, $35 a month just for the chat GPT, because you have to analyze the transcript from the recorded voice, and then that's how you get details out of it, parse it, call your Google Calendar, put the data in there, you have their contacts, follow up.
Can that integrate with like a billing system?
A billing? Yes.
Or can integrate with it?
Yeah. Anything with an API, anything you can put in Zapier, I don't know if a lot of people have used Zapier, you can even do it, I don't want to say steroids, but AI on steroids.
So what did you guys charge this person for the service?
Fair price. We charge on ROI, so if it's no longer missing any calls, if it's no longer, we're saving time, we say, how much have we saved you? And it's like, hey, the ROI is good. So if you're getting 10, we've seen 10 times ROI. So I think it's a good offer.
Sure.
Plus the
But it's
navigator.
not, it was still a monetary amount, not like a percentage from the job.
Oh, yeah. That was very much, that is not as much of a results-based project as the lead generation is. It was very much,
Sure.
I'm tired of losing phone calls. Can you build something to help me? Oh, are we out of time? Oh, my. That's good. AI chatbots versus AI agents. Primary role, chatbots respond to users, agents take actions autonomously. They can handle customer inquiries, chatbots can. Sometimes agents can if you've trained them to do that. They can't optimize operations, but agents can. They save time limitedly for employees because your employees are not usually answering frequently asked questions. They're usually, that you can hand off to the chatbot, but it significantly saves your employees time with the AI agents. And chatbots require user inputs, AI agents don't. Finally, a little note, generative AI will only generate custom content. So we've heard a lot about generative AI. It usually does not do any of these other things. Like you will use the chatbot to tell it what to generate your AI, but it's not gonna be answering your questions back and forth sort of thing. So just a little distinction to put in there. So here it will be generative AI versus AI chatbots versus AI agents. I'm gonna slope through this very quick. 3 common challenges. We shall be sending these slides out too. So things that we've seen that are repetitively a problem. One is data quality and availability. Siloed, incomplete data undermines the power of AI. So what you put in, put garbage in, garbage out. So 87% of AI projects fail due to poor data quality, according to Gartner. So it's something to look out for. For instance, a retail shop could build an AI agent to predict demand, and it could fail to do that accurately due to maybe poor records or incomplete data. So something to keep in mind, talent gap, shortage of skilled AI engineers, data scientists. MIT study by MIT Sloan showed that only 12% of entrepreneurs have mature AI pipelines, but there is workarounds around that. You can use off-the-shelf tools, for instance. Ethical concerns, bias, especially in hiring algorithms, or privacy risks in customer data usage. 60% of consumers distrust AI decisions impacting their lives, according to Edelman. An example, an AI recruitment tool could unfairly filter out qualified individuals. Turning those obstacles into opportunities, partner with AI vendors, upskill your teams. You guys are already here. Adopt ethical AI frameworks. Can look them up. Follow guidelines. Finally, industry use cases. I only listed 6 here, but I actually have an ebook with 30 industry use cases. So if you want, you can check out my website after this for the other cases, but I listed out a few of the common ones. Retail, personalized recommendations, 24/7 customer support. e.g. Amazon was already doing that. Healthcare, you can do diagnostic tools. Finance, fraud detection, a very big one there. Manufacturing and logistics, we covered a bit of predictive data analytics there. Marketing, we had what Amanda had to say. Education, customized study plans and AI-powered accessible resources for the visually and hearing impaired. How to start your journey. Identify use cases. Start with high impact, low complexity areas, e.g. customer service chatbots. maybe improving your site navigation, Tom. I joke because I was explaining to Tom that our site is a bit hard to navigate, especially for us new members. And I was like, I wish I had a chatbot that I could ask to give me all the links so I don't have to figure out where to go. Hence that joke.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Assess data readiness. Do you have siloed data? Are you ready to start doing predictive analytics? Do you have enough data? Maybe start auditing your data and start collecting it for down the road to do some predictive data analytics. Build versus buy, off-the-counter tools versus custom builds. Again, affordability. Pilot and scale. Test small, iterate, expand. Finally, trends to watch. Generative AI, we've heard a lot about that. ChatGPT for content creation, image generation. Amanda is the pro at all these tools. AI agents and chatbots, that's what's hot right now if you're looking at AI in the industry. Then we have AI and Internet of Things. That's a bit of a more advanced, you need sensors in this sense, some electronics, not just ChatGPT, you need some sensors. Let's say a smart factory, you could put some smart sensors into the equipment and you can detect when it's about to fail, or you can detect when it will need service and stuff like that via the internet, just notifies you. So a bit more advanced things there. And then finally, pay attention to the ethical AI regulations, make sure you're doing the right thing, stay agile, experiment, and prioritize learning. Thank you for coming. With that, I would like to say AI is about enhancing humans, not replacing them. And I've been Sandra Casey. Let's connect if you're interested in reclaiming your time, saving costs, and streamlining your operations. Please get in touch. Currently, I'm giving free consultations for chamber members. I only have 3 slots left next month. I can only take on like 5 a month. So free consultations, I can look at your business, your processes, and give you ideas with what I think you can automate in terms of an AI agent, or if you're ready even for data analytics. So 3 slots left for next month. Tom is one of the other ones that are taken. And I have a free AI book for business on my website. I can give you my business card. You can check it out there. It's mostly about that section of the industry use cases. I go through 30 industry use cases in there. And that's been it. Thank you for coming. I don't know if we have time for questions, but you can email them, I guess.
Yeah, great stuff. I know that we're up against the clock, so if you have to go, you can go. But why don't we take general questions that people might have? If you have specifics, maybe you guys will hang around for a few minutes after. All right, go ahead, Jen.
What was the difference between like an AI agent that process that you showed versus something like using a CRM system like HubSpot and Salesforce? What's the major difference there?
I feel like HubSpot, Salesforce, and let's say SEMrush would be an AI-powered tool. So to bring it into an agent, for instance, actually I have a perfect example that you'll like. I automated, I was working with an SEO agency that was reaching out to people. First, they would analyze their websites and create a SEO report in SEMrush, and then reach out to people and say, hey, this is your SEO situation, we can do X, Y, Z. And they would have to manually do that. So there was already AI in SEMrush, but the agent would come in that I would get the API from SEMrush, and instead of them manually going in and clicking around SEMrush, the agent is doing that. So with the first case, a human still has to log into HubSpot and do whatever they need to do. While with the agent, it just listens for webhooks for a certain event and then goes and clicks what he would click in SEMrush, generates the report, and at the end of the day, he has all these reports. He didn't have to go to SEMrush himself one by one. Yeah. That's the power of the agent. Basically, automation, the automation aspect.
What can you do for a small business just starting out that doesn't have all the systems in place?
An example is like the landscaping company I worked with, just phone call, and I built it for him. Of course, I would have to have his permission. Can I have your phone numbers? I can, code it in and all that. In the contract, we discuss, privacy and data rules and all that. But I actually focus on SMBs because I think they get more out of AI, given that they usually don't have the enterprise level resources. So in terms of really augmenting your team, imagine if you had like 2 salespeople closing 5 calls let's say, email marketing and closing five leads per week. You can have the same 2 people, but close a lot more, if that makes sense.
I'll talk to you afterwards.
Yes, I'm doing the free evaluation, so that's the whole point. You can come and I can see how we can help.
Well, thank you to all 3 of you for an outstanding presentation, really.
Thank you everyone for coming.
And as you heard, we'll send out the slides to everybody, so you'll have this stuff. A lot of resources you can tap into going forward, so look for that. And again, Patty, thank you for having us today. Appreciate you hosting and providing a wonderful breakfast. And I see there's still some food back there, so if anybody